I really hope it's Cal. I like Cal a lot. That game was that game was surprisingly like I know it's made by one of the best developers you could ask for, but like even then it's just like how rushed it was. Like, and you know, if you played that in the first week before like or the first like month before all the patches went out, it was definitely rough. But like man, afterwards that shit got like if you played it now, like especially on PC, oh, it's so good. Are you wearing a fucking blazer? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I'm. I guess I will be the Max Scoville to your Brian Altano then. Um. I like Brian Altano. He's no, fair enough. Mine doesn't. Looks like shit. It's also partially because I've been like, I have not been in. I told you my hot water heater broke, right? Fucking like at first I didn't have water. Then
Hello, hello. What's happened, my babies? There we go. That's not right, though. Boom. What is up? I think I'm gonna hold on here, cause something ain't right. Move you here for a second. There's always something that goes wrong. Always some little tiny minuscule detail. Oh, thanks, Bronson. Thank you for the dork in chat. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Crit Talk. We made it. Cheers. Everybody bring out your beers. Cheers. We've made it. My long ass. I'm more proud of myself. I'm just gonna be honest for a second. I'm just gonna, let it sit for a second. That I actually sat my ass down after talking about it for about a year and a half. So, just want to give you guys little details on it. Crit Talk is going to be every Saturday. Time roughly is going to depend on the guest. So next week is, I don't know why I touched that. I moved everything over here. Next week is going to be Tammy Ryan, and she's going to be jumping in at 5:30. So that's going to be the time for next week. But as for this week, let's get to the show. So, audio only coming in my left ear. I don't know, man. That is kind of weird. No, I'm all good here. It's very odd. Yeah. Yeah, hello. It might be your headset, but we'll find out in a second. We'll find out right meow.
No, it's coming through only my left ear on the stream as well.
Really?
Is your audio set to mono?
Dude,
your audio set to mono?
I didn't change anything.
Doesn't mean it can't fucking be changed.
Is it? Sure, I know it. Properties. Oh wait, is that better? Check that. It might have been that, but if not, I could switch it up real quick. Air. No,
it's only going through my left.
That is so. Is it just my microphone, or is it also this music too?
Hold on, I need to choke up so I can hear myself.
Uh-oh. See, this is why we do things. This is why we check things. Let me see. Open audio advanced setup.
Yeah, no, because it's
monitor, desktop audio. Interesting. Thomas Mike only left.
Why is it always you? Why is it always you and Brittany?
I don't know. I haven't had a problem in it.
You and Brittany.
I literally haven't changed a setting, and I don't know why I had an issue just now. Bump that shit. Here you go. That shit is dope. I like this song.
For a minute, like.
Oh, wait a second. I think I know the problem. Hold on.
What's the issue?
Wait. We're gonna check these scenes real quick.
Oh my fucking god! Is it?
Is it what?
This is what I think is.
Let me go to my straight overlay. No, that should be fine. No problem there. Ah! Streamception. Very odd. The music is dope as fuck, though. Damn, I can't figure this out now. Did my USB?
What microphone are you using now?
I'm using my Blue Spark.
Oh. Are you on the mixer yet?
Yeah.
Are you using the mixer?
Yeah, I'm on the mixer. I did like 3 whole streams.
On your mixer? Okay.
Monitor's direct monitor. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna help.
What will we get? The real question is, will we get this show up before this copy of Call of Duty installs?
So I just put my direct monitor on, and it sounds like I'm coming through myself on both of my headphones. Right? Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So that's weird.
I mean, that is weird.
Let me turn off the air. I don't know. I've been using the same settings since I got this new mixer. I haven't touched it. That's weird.
It'd be cool if we could make me go through one ear and then you go through the other.
Well, that is what's happening. Alex was saying you're going through the right and I'm going through the left. So
okay, is that,
maybe
I don't know. I guess
Discord
that
problem.
could work.
But I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Alex, am I at least coming through?
I'm good.
Clear. Mod guy. Oh, mod guy is fine. Okay. Mod guy.
Mod guy?
Bronson, you're mod guy. Let me check my settings. Voice and video. Output. I mean, it's set to. I mean, yeah, that's what it should be set to. Output is also this.
Hold on, I'll check my Discord as well. Give me a minute.
Yeah, that should be fine though.
Where the fuck did I put my Discord? Oh, right. Fuck, it's on the other page.
It should.
Damn it.
I highly doubt it's Discord. I mean, I haven't touched a fucking setting. I think it's OBS.
Yeah, no, me neither.
That doesn't make sense.
Of course
to me.
it is. That's so weird. I mean, the show must go on.
I mean, yeah, but like, can you hear me fine, Alex? Is the thing. My only problem is gonna be then, maybe a hotkey. I haven't actually touched my keyboard. Thank you. My voice is great. All right. I mean, if it's hearable, it's fine. I'll figure it out. It's the first episode, so there's always fuckery happening on the first episode of anything. Even though I tested everything last night and then tested it again today, but hey. It's fine. The show must go on, right? I'll figure it out. I don't give a fuck anymore, honestly. So let's turn this shit down. We'll turn on the music a little bit. All right, Bronson, mute yourself again. Mute yourself again, my friend. Okay. Great success. Okay. Well, anyways, fuck me. I mean, it's not. This isn't. It wouldn't be a Thomas King stream unless something fucked up royally. Regardless of my preparation. It's fine though. Okay. But that's fine. That's out of the way. So let's get to it, boys and girls. I hope that music... Actually, I'm going to turn down a touch more. Just so it's in the background. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Bronson. Thanks. Okay. So we got the basic housekeeping and everything out of the way. Just remember, every Saturday, Crit Talk. Next week's episode with Tammy Ryan at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you're in Europe, figure it out yourself. I don't know what to tell you. So, tonight's show. Tonight's show, the first show, the maiden voyage of Crit Talk, is going to be... Tonight's show is about turd burglars. Yes, that's right. It's a huge problem running rampant throughout the United States. My cat constantly lives in fear of these turd burglars. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm sorry. What was that? No. Hold on. I'm getting some important information. I apologize. No. What do you mean? That's not what the show's about. We had an entire meeting about this, Gary. No. Okay. Okay, fine. So what? I'm sorry. What exactly are we doing? What are we doing? No. That's much worse. I've talked about this and fine. I'll do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be very angry. Okay, I love you too. Destiny. You know, that other game made by beloved Halo developer where you play as a space wizard that fights another wizard that came from the moon? Bungie decided they wanted to make something other than Halo and collectively picked Activision to see their vision through to the end. Yeah, Activision. The gaming equivalent of a wet fart. You expect everything to be okay and maybe it'll smell for a few minutes, but you end up having to change your pants at the end of it. In 2010, Bungie signed a 10-year contract with Activision to publish a trilogy series. We got our first look at Destiny in 2012 with images leaked by IGN. After that leak, Bungie released the following statement. We're not quite ready to take the wraps off our universe, but in light of recent events, we thought we'd give our fans something a little more official over at Bungie.net. This led to the now famous concept art of the spider tanks walking with fallen and tattered robes. In February of 2013 was the first time we got a look at the MMO, RPG, FPS, RTS, WTF, LOL, 143, 420, 69, nice, known as Destiny. The official release of the very first vid doc alongside it, which is still a community staple to this very day. By mid-2013, it was reported that most of the lore, story, level, and game design had been finished, and a vertical slice had been prepared for upper management to get their dirty little paws on. What transpired next shook the legendary game developer to their core. Destiny was given the mark of the beast. Story far too dense and linear. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where Destiny suffers its first of many deaths. Bungie lead writer Joseph Stanton and a handful of other writers decided to fuck off before they had to experience the perversion of their hard work over the past few years. The campaign was to be rebuilt from the ground up. After some renegotiating with Activision, Destiny was to be released in September of 2014. The game launched to middling praise at best, with incredible shooting mechanics, but the story was at best an Activision, and at worst was Grandpa having explosive diarrhea in the back seat while the heat's blasting in the car. Not only that, but they missed a $2.5 million bonus for delaying launch, and to top all of this off, they had to watch their baby Destiny slowly die in front of their eyes for a second time. After this, Bungie would release the first raid, the Vault of Glass, which, as we all know, was amazing, and 4 expansions that followed it. The Dark Below was okay. The House of Wolves was definitely shit. The Taken King was not bad. It wasn't bad at all. And Rise of Iron was once again brings around the theme of shit. All while scrambling to repair the damage done by scrapping the original campaign and simultaneously trying to pick up those sweet cash bonuses from Activision. Oh yeah, and Eververse was a thing. Moving on. After all that negative press and Destiny's more than 50% drop in player base, Activision and Bungie decided to have another baby to save the marriage. Destiny 2. Bungie, no longer being the same developer they once were, sitting in the kitchen, crying over a slightly overdone steak, and Activision continuing to drink heavily and curse profusely while trying to cover up their premature ejaculation problem. All the while, Destiny 2 started to bring players back, but at this point, this marriage was clearly on the rocks. Destiny was publicly valued at over $4 billion, but again, revenue and player base was declining hard and seen as less profitable than other core franchises. The Destiny contract was worth more than the entire series itself, as cited by Baird Equity and Morgan Stanley both in 2019. But in January of 2019, Bungie would finally release itself from the grasp of the Cthulian nightmare of wet farts known as Activision, and Destiny was able to live again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here to argue with me for the next 45 minutes from Super Gamecraft is the big, beautiful Bronson Fiore. Bronson, how the hell are you? And please try to convince me Destiny 2 isn't dying all over again.
Yeah, so I think that Destiny as a franchise has had a very up and down road. And unlike most people, I actually don't think that it's entirely thanks to Activision. I think they're a big part of it, like for sure. If you go back, and I'm not sure if everyone caught this, but back in July, Marty O'Donnell did an interview with Hidden Xperia. He's a big Halo YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Who talked about the Destiny deal, and why he no longer works for Bungie, and he gave their fucking, that Bungie was he was talking to an Activision CFO, a chief
Oh,
financial officer.
Bronson, somehow your mic needs to be louder. I've never experienced that
Louder?
in Bronson's entire career.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 moment. Give me 1 minute to fuck around with Discord.
Hi, Tammy.
It is literally as loud as it goes. Thomas, you have to boost me in Discord.
Oh, you know what? It might be that. Yeah, here we go. I got you. Okay.
Yep. Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so during their dinner, O'Donnell said he was talking to Activision chief financial officer at the time. And he said, "Be nice to the goose," with Bungie being the goose laying the gold mates for Activision.
Mm-hmm.
According to O'Donnell, the CFO told him that he liked the analogy, but sometimes there's nothing like a good foie gras. I was fucking saying that.
Foie gras.
Which is what, if you're not familiar with what that is where you force feed a goose
Duck.
before slaughtering it or duck, but mostly goose, because what it does is it causes the liver to be extra fatty and delicious.
Yes, it does.
And that's what it is.
Oh, it's
so
good.
You what you do is you force feed a goose like nonstop, then you wire its mouth shut so it can't vomit, and then keep doing this, and then slaughter the goose. It's a really fucked up process.
Oh, but it's so good. What's up, Nasty?
Oh, I bet. So yeah, and that's kind of the story that went down. But if you also go back and look at multiple stories that came out from Kotaku, saying like it just wasn't Activision. Like the engine they made for Destiny wasn't flexible enough, and made it so if they had to redo anything, they had to go back and redo whole levels. Like there was a lot of stuff about that first game that like Activision having those hard deadlines was definitely a part of it. Because like that game got delayed a full year.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a launch title for PS4 and Xbox One. And that game kind of eventually got it together. Like it got like Taken King was like where that game I finally played it and I'm like, oh, I see what you're like. You made Diablo but with guns.
Yeah.
And then like you know you go to the second one and it's like, oh, you like just kind of like that idea refined. And I think that the part where Activision comes in is where like trying to monetize it too hard and trying to push out expansions too fast. And I think that what they did with what was the expansion before Shadowkeep? Forsaken?
Yes, Forsaken.
Yeah, Forsaken. So what they started to do with Forsaken actually was really smart and fairly close to the idea that I always had for Destiny, which is they were trying to support that game with like traditional DLC passes, and it just like was not working.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's a big problem.
And like I always said, like you need to go to the MMO route. You need a sub fee, and then just a dedicated team working on like major patch content. You need to go the WoW FF14 route. And that's kind of pretty close to what they did with Forsaken and all the other add-ons that they've done since, because you either pay like $80 for the full year, $60 for the full year, whatever it is.
There's 60, I believe.
You pay 60 to 70 for the full year, which gives you the big expansion and then all the seasons, or you pay like $15 per season, I believe it is. And I'm like, that's basically a subscription.
Yeah.
You're just paying for a year subscription. And notice content ever since has been more frequent. It's been of higher quality. Like not all of it's been winners, but like
Definitely
most of it's been winners. And like first, and I had to feel, Forsaken was their last thing under Activision, what I remember. I want to say that was their last thing under Activision.
Yep.
And like that they did it and it made a bunch of money, but Activision apparently didn't see like value in them, like enough value to keep them, so they let them buy themselves out.
Yeah.
Which Destiny makes enough money where they can keep it independent for as long as they want to. And what I actually saw, I was actually if the new Destiny expansion didn't just happen to come out the same time as a World of Warcraft expansion, I'd be playing it a lot right now because I love the changes they put into new expansion.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that I think vaulting content is a brilliant idea.
genius.
I think that's really smart for a game like that
Mm-hmm.
because how much shit in Destiny 2 or even Destiny 1 when you go look back on it is just shit you'll never play, but you have to fucking download and they have to keep updating and find a way to keep you away from it unless you want the rewards there.
Yep. Yeah,
Like it's
they really know how to pull you in now, which is something that they had to learn over time, and they took a lot of hard hits from the community, especially very early on. And that's like we were talking about, like Taken King was like that first really good expansion, and by that time, for I think it was about 30 to 40% of their player base, that was too late. Like, yeah, Taken King did return a lot of people, but before that, they had one okay expansion, one really bad one, and the introduction of Eververse. That really hurt them
oh yeah.
in that first year, man. Like,
And like now to be fair, like I feel like a lot of those players who came to Destiny 1. Oh shit, Cartbill's here. What's up?
what up, chat?
Um,
What up, guys?
uh, but no, like I feel as like um, that first big, like Destiny was the first big game on next gen consoles. Like that was the first like game that was like, holy shit. Um, uh, like holy shit, like this is like the big, like I knew a lot of people were gonna fall off
Yeah.
like that I had a feel, but like I just doesn't to that extent. Did someone in the chat just say they're playing it on Stadia?
Tammy does some weird things. She goes, I will
What the
say, after
fuck?
playing D2 at launch, having a 2-year break, and now getting back into it on Stadia, I can't lie, we're getting really into it again. It just feels fun now. And Nasty follows up with, look, I can't say I don't find faults in Destiny, but I really enjoy playing the game. I get a lot of shit, but you can't please everyone, especially in an MMO. I don't necessarily think that was the problem. The problem was that, so my initial problem, once we got past like the first year, was everybody's problem, which that was kind of how the community felt. Was the biggest issue was them getting these financial incentives and bonuses from Activision to meet deadlines, which is fine, but they would always prioritize those bonuses above the quality of their expansions and whatever content drops they were putting in. So at the time, it was like you'd have 5 or 6 story missions, 1 strike, and then possibly a raid down the road with each expansion. But something like House of Wolves didn't even have that. And that's why that first year, like I said in the intro, they cleaved more than 50% of their player base that first year. And Taken King was the only reason they came back around.
I look, it was free with YouTube Premium. Don't judge us. What
Fair
up,
point.
Snow? I haven't seen you around in a while. Anyway, no, like it's like I think that one of the biggest problems, even if you take out the financial side of it, it's just at how unbelievably inconsistent it was. Like, so part of getting someone hooked to an MMO is like consistent good content.
Yeah.
Like I play a lot of fucking MMOs. It's one of my favorite genres. And MMO likes, because Destiny's not really an MMO, it's more of an MMO like.
It's an MMORPG FPS. That's how they sold it. That's how they sold it year one, and I stuck to that.
I fucking the way they sold it was World of Warcraft meets Halo, but really it's more of it's more like Diablo meets Halo.
Yeah.
But
for the most
part. Anyway,
now,
so so I've been working mornings. I have afternoon tomorrow, so I'm up later. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh,
so
hey.
so it's one of those things where it's one of those things where like so like for example, using World of Warcraft as an example, or even Final Fantasy 14, like every 3 months you get a content patch with like, oh, here's a dungeon, here's a new storyline,
Mm-hmm.
there's a new raid, so on and so forth. And if you're gonna keep, and like that's what you need to keep someone into that loop. And this goes back to even the original EverQuest. The original EverQuest was getting new content like every 6 months.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you want people to be immersed in that world and that content 24/7. And the problem with Destiny 1, its entire life, and Destiny 2 up until Forsaken was like, yeah, the first expansion would be really good, and the second one would be kind of shit, and then their big year update would be really good, but then their next two expansions would be kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like these mini $20 expansions, and I'm sitting here the entire time just going just like, go to a fucking subscription model. It's like the
Yeah.
entire time I'm just sitting here like, just for the love of God, go to a subscription model and set up a team that just runs patches.
Agreed. Yeah.
Content.
I
And that's a sense. They found a full retail game way around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know?
I agree with that. Like the first year, that's what I was saying. The issue with them be not only they didn't have the infrastructure for it and all that, so that like you said, they needed a whole team for it, but also the community who Deej was constantly in touch with the community, and the community outcry was to not move to a subscription model. And they were super adamant about it, which I absolutely hated it, because at that point, when like Dark Below and House of Wolves had launched, I was super into the Destiny community. I put like something like 1,600 hours into D1. And
that's crazy. That's crazy.
It was insane. But like
madness.
70% of that was probably PvP later on. But
that was my main thing for D1 too.
Yep.
Going on. Get
with,
Thorn, play PvP. That was Destiny 1.
Yeah, yeah. But the problem, like I said, became the community. This is why I tell a lot of people in a lot of different Facebooks and all that, like, the developers don't have to listen to the community, because a lot of the times the community doesn't know what they want, and they don't know what's best for the game either. And I'm sure Bungie had an idea to do a subscription model, and I'm sure Activision probably wanted it at the same time, because they could have raked in gobs more money.
I mean, yeah, they have the subscription MMO king under their belt. They would probably love a second one of those.
Oh hell yeah!
Like that. And I think that like when I look back at and to be fair, like I said, they basically found a way to sneak it in. With this new year of bullshit.
Yep.
Like it's just like, if I pay $80, I get a full year's worth of content. That's really close to what you'd be paying, like maybe $10 a month. Weird. Like it's like that. They do their fall update, then they do winter, then they do spring, and then their summer update is always kind of half-assed.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's been one of those things that's like, and I feel like I understand like ignoring your community when like it doesn't fit your game, but then like you have shit like I am really conflicted with this, because like the Warcraft community is the same exact thing. Where like, and the Warcraft developers at points have said shit like, you think you want that, but you don't. And I'm just like, oh my, I remember that with that, like, because ever since like 6 years into World of Warcraft's existence, people have been wanting them to re-release vanilla, which finally happened last year on the 15th anniversary.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when the first time that request came up at a BlizzCon, one of the developers said, you think you want that, but you don't. And like over the years, it got like the whining for it got like worse and worse. And like last year, they put out vanilla again. They're like, here, it's part of the regular sub. And it was so popular that for the first like 3 days, I couldn't even get into a server. Like it was nuts. It was absolutely bananas.
Yeah, imagine. And So the main thing I wanted to get into was because I know Destiny's D2 is coming back into popularity. A lot of people are getting back into it pretty hard. And I wanted to take a look at something we talked about right beforehand, which was their current player numbers. And I wanted to see like their sales and such, because I know Beyond Light came out and people are freaking out about it and they love everything about it. So I'm curious to see if this is just going to be one of those small peaks for Destiny again, and we're going to see a massive valley, because like so November 26, 2020 at 7:02 a.m. they did a read for their peak on Destiny 2. So the peak on D2 for that day was 126,000 people, and their concurrent player base was around 98,000 people. And it seems so. And then in October, the peak in October, which the date was October 18th, their peak was 93,000.7, so 94,000 players. So their peak has had a plus minus of 30,000 players, and their old peak from a month ago is roughly their current player base. So I'm curious if this is going to be a sticking point for them. Like, are we going to see the Bungie developing Destiny that we saw in like D2 year 1 or even D1 like year 2 or 3, or are we going to see something completely new from Bungie, and you think they're going to kind of pick up the pieces and keep this like stained glass from breaking one more time?
I think that they're honestly going to keep doing what they did for Shadowkeep and Forsaken until it breaks, which is pay $70, get a full year's worth of content, and then pay $70, get a full year's worth of content, and then dip off. Looking at Destiny on like the Steam rankings right now, it's the 4th most played game on Steam right now, like today. And yesterday it had close to the same thing.
Beer delivery.
And
nice.
I'm gonna wear the fuck out of.
Cheers, everybody! If y'all are real quick, cheers, everyone. I know some of you weren't here at the beginning, but cheers to everybody. Thank you for joining episode 1 of Crit Talk. Next week we'll see Tammy. Bronson's here right now. Love you, Bronson. Thanks for being guest number uno.
But thanks, man.
Yeah. Keep it going. What were you saying?
So yeah, like I and you look at the activity chart and you look at the Steam reviews, it's just very positive, like across the board. Like most of the negative reviews are like October of when it launched, and then it's like ever since it's been mostly pretty positive. And you look at the Steam user reviews are all very positive. You look at, and like the game's been awesome. Like I came back to it last year with our little posse, and we all did Shadowkeep and had a great time.
Oh man!
The only reason we're not doing the new expansion is because we're all in the Shadowlands.
Right.
But or in some cases, some people are in Final Fantasy 14. But like, we all got different MMOs we're kind of dipping into. But like, yeah, I'm. What's the new one's called? Beyond the Light, right?
Beyond Light, yeah.
Beyond Light.
Yeah, it's Beyond.
So yeah, and like I'm gonna when the new year starts and you have that kind of gaming dead zone, like our posse will probably hop right back into it. That's which, and to be fair, Destiny doesn't need to be like. I feel like because of the way they marketed it originally. Everyone wants Destiny to be this fucking massive, innovative thing, and I don't think they're trying to be that anymore. They're like, here, look, we made Gun Diablo. We're gonna keep making fun Gun Diablo.
Yeah, bro.
And put out new content for fun Gun Diablo. If you wanna play fun Gun Diablo, buy a year's pass and keep playing it. Otherwise, and if you want to try it, hey, it's free.
Yeah.
Like it's this like, because like I go into the fucking Bungie community and like I get it that Bungie for a very long time, like from like Marathon onward, was a very innovative company and did a lot of really innovative shit,
Yeah.
especially with Halo. But like they don't need to do that anymore.
Mm.
And quite frankly, with this style of game, I don't think you really can without pissing off very large swaths of the community.
I think
um,
so what I was gonna say is, first off, what up, Rue? Secondly, what I was gonna say is, I think the biggest issue with something like that in the community wanting it to be like Halo, I don't think even when we were expecting this game, we were like, oh, it's gonna be like Halo, but we're gonna be able to play together. And then as it released, we slowly realized it wasn't gonna be anything like that. But the issue
like
the issue derives
like,
from one simple point, Bronson. One simple point. So it's this:
mm,
Bungie had a history, especially for shooters at the time. Back in that age, the stories weren't tremendous, and Bungie was able to do a lot of really cool things with Halo and craft this universe inside of the video game that also spawned like very popular, like Rooster Teeth ended up doing Red versus Blue. They had book series, they had comic series, and at the time, for a game like Halo 1 and 2 to spawn that was unheard of.
well,
So
not only that, but like you look at Halo 2, what it did for like online console games, and like Forge being like a console map maker and all this other stuff, right? Like, and I think they expect that from a gameplay aspect as well. And I very much remember my first my first E3 was the Destiny E3, where you could play Destiny. And I remember I played it, and I'm like, and they only were demoing PvP, but I played that PvP, and I was just like, the way the shooting felt, the way the powers worked. I was lucky enough to get Titan, the best class, first shot.
Oh god.
You know,
False.
I like punching.
Don't let him
things.
look. I get to do this. Don't let him push this false narrative. Okay, hunters for life. If you ain't a hunter, you're a bum. All right, and you're just second. You're just second rate. It goes wizard, then Titan, and then like 4 slots up. That's your hunter. Continue though.
No, it goes Titan.
I'll just small screen you. Like you can't even see him anymore. His point doesn't matter.
Tammy's a hunter player.
Hunters for life, baby. Oh, Tammy, thank you for the sub, by the way. I have alert boxes turned off because it's got a really annoying noise that comes with it, and I can't silence it. But thank you so much.
I put our alert box is Shenron.
Yeah, I downloaded this theme. I downloaded this theme, and this theme came with a really annoying sound, and I haven't switched back to my Star Wars shit yet. So I'm just waiting. Oh, Vru says, still remember running around the Cosmodrome for hours getting spin metal. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was I remember that. We had to go from there to Mars, right? To collect some other shit. That was absurd grinding.
But like I remember playing and thinking like, oh, this PvP is going to be amazing if they nail it right. And then I got the alpha, like the early alpha.
Warlock suck.
And I got into fucking Tammy. Those. But no, and I remember getting that alpha, and you do Earth, and then you go to the moon and do like, and then like you finish up Earth, and like I remember being like, I really hope that's not the only content on Earth. And then it was.
Whoopsies.
And I'm just like, because like that first bit of content, I'm like, oh, this really is like Halo meets WoW, like cool.
Yeah.
Because the Cosmodrome is an open area, but it's not like in a traditional MMO. And yeah.
Bro, I remember I just remember early Destiny. Even though there was not much to do, we found tons of shit to do. Like Rue said, like we would just run around and grind for spin metal or do the same thing over and over, and that was fun. And then like Vault of Glass hit, and I remember hearing about the first raid took them 7 hours to do on Vault of Glass, which was like, I hadn't played WoW at that point in years, and I was like, holy shit, this is like WoW vibes right here. Like a 7 hour clear for world's first. That's kind of nuts. And I just
Right.
it was
Like I. Go ahead, sorry.
real quick, Bronson. It was just a lot of repetitive content that was like the loop was fun, don't get me wrong, but I'm one of those people, and I know my friends in chat or some of those people I played with, like we were looking for different shit to do. Like even as we were playing and making jokes and like fucking shitting on each other the whole time, it eventually turned into like, okay, we need to play something different. Like they need to put something else into this game. And that became the theme for 2 to 3 years, which is like, here's 6 more quests, here's a strike, and here's a raid. And then that'll stave you off for 4 months. Like, I understand, like, you're an MMO, but you're also Bungie. Like, you should be capable of far more.
Well, it's because once again it goes back to they fucked up that first engine so bad that making like content was hard. So making a lot of content was extra hard. Like I remember, because one thing that Blizzard and even before Blizzard EverQuest did is they designed their tools to be able to pump out content fast.
Yeah.
And that's how like you looked at the first, like if you look at like World of Warcraft up to its first expansion, content was coming out like every 3 months. Like if you go back and look at like the vanilla patch list, it's nuts. Like every month it's like, hey, we had this PvP thing. Hey, we had one new dungeon. Hey, we had this new raid. Like it's
Yeah.
to the point where I know plenty of people who didn't see all of vanilla WoW. I missed a couple of big parts of vanilla WoW.
I surely didn't. All I was doing for 2 years was running a guild. I was just guild managing, so I definitely didn't see it.
Like I remember, like most people didn't even see the last raid because it came out so late. And like like it's like versus like Destiny where like I remember hitting cap, like soft cap as we called it, because the light cap,
the light level,
and then I hit hard. Yeah, and then I like got up to 25 to do vault, and then I hit hard cap, and then like by that it'd been a month and a half later, and I put around 70 hours to the game, and I had a good time, but it was just like I just didn't fucking like it. It just didn't give me the same thing that I got from a more traditional MMO or even Diablo, just because of how little there was there. What kept me coming back was like how good the PvP shooting was.
Yeah,
like how good that felt.
Yeah, that was that was the best. That was, to me personally, and I mean a little bit objectively, I think PvP was the best part of Destiny because it was just all about that shooting, and that loop was 10 times more satisfying than a lot of the PvE stuff, except for like dropping Galahorn and clearing a raid with the boys and stuff like that.
Because like strikes were not really a ready thing yet.
No, they were really.
I really feel that like as much as I enjoyed strikes in that game, like it was very meh content.
Yeah. So what I wanted to get into here a bit, since we got 15 minutes left in the podcast, I'm keeping it on a strict timer, a nice tight hour. So I pulled up the Beyond Light, Destiny 2 Beyond Light review. So I think we could look ahead towards the...
From who? Wait, from who?
It's on Games Radar. So I just picked up this one because I wanted to get like the basic overview. I really don't care about the context of their review. So just looking at it right here, right? It's given a 4 out of 5 for Destiny Beyond Light with the tagline, "Now that's more like it." And they're giving the pros for them. Destiny Beyond Light with the tagline. Oh God! That's more what the fuck? Okay, so the pros and cons, they just got it straight at the top because they're smart. I don't have to scroll down for it. So the pros, they got exciting campaign on a gorgeous moon, which is Europa, fun new powers, and an incredible raid apparently, which is always that's a good hallmark of a pretty decent expansion.
I've heard fucking Liana and like everyone I know who plays that game will not shut up about that fucking raid.
Yeah.
So that part I can say.
So that's great, but the thing that sticks out to me, which is the problem I had with this game, seems to have been fixed because they're saying exciting campaign, and just looking a little bit, they're saying it's a Beyond Light's 5-hour opening campaign mirrors the overall expansion experience. The first half is a bit weak, and things just sort of happen as you dawdle around Europa, but Bungie really sets the hook in Act 2, which that was kind of their theme in Halo anyways. It was always a slow roll, and then they would really hook you in that second act. So it goes on to say, just briefly, I just want to read this a little bit. It helps that the backdrop to all this is one of the prettiest destinations we've ever had. I'll never get tired of the snowstorms and reflective ice, but the best part is how the story unfolds in layers. Our brief dalliance with Eramis, a new fallen antagonist who uses the darkness power of stasis to start an uprising on Europa, delivers some refreshingly challenging boss fights and witty dialogue, but it's only in the post-game that the overarching narrative starts to pick up speed. That last line is very important to me, because they take their story narrative and they bring it into the end game, into that post game, which they dabbled into with Taken King, but I'm curious to see how heavy it actually is in that post game. So I'm interested to play. I'm interested to play. It's got me.
So once again, I'm going to be jumping into it after the holidays. I pulled up GameSpot's review and its closing statements. It might be somewhat smaller and more streamlined, but this is also the most alive Destiny 2 has felt, at least since the best days of Forsaken, and maybe ever. This is the closest thing we've ever been to story, characters, and lore, and the most we've ever seen characters interacting with each other in meaningful ways. Already, we've uncovered a bunch of deep-cut, fascinating story beats about characters who have persisted in Destiny since the beginning. The Deep Stone Crypt raid was an exciting, intense, and inventive challenge, and completing it altered Europa in some significant ways. It not only feels like Guardians are influencing the world of Destiny 2 right now, but because of the constant story underpinning of the dangers of wielding darkness, that the world is influencing us back. Beyond the Light might not be the biggest expansion, but it does feel like we've entered a new chapter in the game's life, with new priorities and an approach that makes the game more resonant in ways that goes beyond satisfying shooting. A whole Destiny 2 might be more of the same than it is different, but what's saying about it feels like it's a phenomenal raid, and tight, satisfying gameplay is still largely pretty great, and what's different is mostly making the game worthwhile. So GameSpot does this thing where they list good and bad. The good story brings back old characters, mixes them more, and feels more intimate and important than the past. Europa is an expansive, dynamic location, hiding a lot of fascinating mystery. New stasis abilities change up gameplay and tactics in fun, unexpected ways. Seasonal activities are important thanks to a compelling story hook. Deep Stone Crypt raid is extremely cool. The bad, less content means some activities get repetitious and stale more quickly. Suffers from some of the usual Destiny problems like over-reliance on bounties or busy work style questing. So
interesting. So that problem's still there.
Yeah, which I mean, look, man, that's never going away.
Yeah, I mean,
that's part of the genre, bro. Just get used to it.
I mean, listen, I understand, but even something like, I'm gonna point to, which you're probably gonna hate, but I'm gonna point to ESO. And whenever they drop a DLC, there's it's usually like a 6 to 8 hour story experience, and it's pretty tight, and it's always good, and it doesn't get repetitious. Like, they usually drop like 10 to 15 story missions with a couple new activities, and then they have the small raids and the big raids, and then there's some new element that's shoved into PvP. So there's something there for everybody, and it's surely more than most of the MMOs, especially like D1, even early to midway D2 days. Like, it's definitely further than that. I'm curious to see how many missions and quests and raids and strikes there are, because that story hook has really interested me. So I would like to see how problematic this still is.
The thing that I look at, though, is, like, no matter what MMO it is I've played, EverQuest, Lineage, Guild Wars, the list goes on and on. Eventually you get past all that shit, and it's, all right, this week, what is my chore list? And that's just part of the genre. Like,
sure.
That's part of... That is just part of the monster, and Destiny's always gonna have that thing where you log in and it's what is my chore list?
Yeah, of course.
Like
What are my dailies,
um
weeklies? Like, I
yeah,
forget.
like
Somebody has
even
a
WoW
monthly.
Classic, like WoW, I think back to WoW Classic, which has the least of that stuff, but even it has like, okay, I need to farm out my maps for the raid this week. I need to farm out my gold. If you're running Molten Core, if I'm Water Bitch, I have to go get dousing for my group,
Oh
so
shit.
on and so forth.
Hmm.
So like, and I think that you know, trying to minimize that as much as possible is good. I know multiple games that try and minimize that in a big way, and I'm very happy when they do.
Yeah.
Um, but it's still like at the end of the day, it's still just a monster that's going to be there. So like when people bring it up as part of like there is some repetitive grindy shit in this
Yeah, bro.
MMO, I'm like, so you made an MMORPG. Um,
Yeah.
that's
So as we gear up here to wind down and close it up, my final question to you, Bronson, and to the entire chat, because I'd like to know everyone's kind of where they are with this. So,
mhm.
do we think that Destiny has finally, or Bungie rather, has finally pulled Destiny out of this dark time and this dark era, and are we going to see more creative shit? Are we going to see less priority on stuff like Eververse, and are we going to see more of a priority on story and quality of content and quality of life updates on Destiny? Bronson, go ahead.
So two things in the chat. I interrupt this program to say Bronson's shirt is off the hook.
Yeah, it
Bronson,
is, bro.
Montana.
That fucking shirt
Um,
is nuts.
yeah,
It's thrift shop worthy,
yeah,
son.
man. I love Hawaiian shirts and I love ska music. Those two things go together hand in hand. Actually, I remember I brought nothing but Hawaiian shirts to E3, and literally was getting compliments the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
It was lovely. So thank you for that. As for Destiny, um, I think at least for the foreseeable future, because they lined out their next 3 years and the titles of their next three expansions.
Right.
I think we might get a new. I think we might get a new mode here and there. I think we might get some like a little bit innovative stuff for Destiny, but I very much think it's going to be what Forsaken and Shadowkeep and now Beyond the Light are, which is all right. We're going to go in. We're going to give you a new story and update the lore a bit. We're going to tweak classes,
Yeah.
strikes, new raids every couple of months, and go about our day. I just don't think that it's a like I think of this game. I know for some people this is a dirty word, but like I think this game, like I think of Call of Duty or even World of Warcraft, where it's like you can't fuck with it too much,
Yeah.
or you're gonna piss a lot of people off. So it's just kind of this thing where yeah, they can innovate in small ways and do cool stuff, maybe do a new motor here or there,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, it's gonna be what they've done. Hey, new story campaign. Here's a new raid. Every quarter, you're gonna get some strikes and raids and story content.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
pay us $70 a year, please.
I tend to so I tend to agree with that, Bronson. I feel like they're gonna follow that MMO structure to the T almost. I feel like I'm gonna have to check out Beyond Light, because just hearing people say that the story is one of the driving points of this expansion gets me very excited. And as Tammy said, like, I pre-ordered D2 also. I played it from launch. I
I bought it. I didn't pre-order, but I did walk in and buy it day one.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, so and I played up until D2, and I think I quit about 6 months into D2 because I was like, this is bullshit. It's the same thing over and over. But reading all these reactions, having a bunch of people come back and kind of change their perspective on Destiny and buy back into it, I'm kind of excited. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really, really, really happy that Destiny is, like, especially from what we just saw, they had a 30,000 plus concurrent usership in the last month bump, which is very promising.
Also, you want to know what's something, and the thing is like, I think that Destiny, I think that's just the nature of MMOs of some repetition, and like, once again, it's not a game that is like I'm gonna play forever. Like, it's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna check out the new content, I'm gonna play a shit ton of Gambit because I love that mode.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna fucking log off and play something else until the next patch. Same thing with WoW. Right now, Shadowlands is out. It's doing great. I'm gonna burn through all that content in Castle Revendreth or Castle Nathria, the new raid that's out in a week, and then I'm not gonna come back until 9.1 when they do their new mega dungeon and whatever story beats they do then. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm ordering a pizza now.
There you go. Order that pizza, buddy. Well, I'm fucking excited for Destiny. I already have it downloaded back on my PC, so I'm gonna be jumping back into it shortly. And now with this, I'm super hyped.
I have it downloaded. It's just right now. This is like I have a game checklist right now.
Yeah.
It's like get caught up and into Shadowlands Endgame, so I can do my weekly chore list. And then from there I have Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then Demon Souls and COD, which COD I'm gonna blow through in like a weekend. It's real. Yeah. So yeah, it ends up being that's my checklist, but I should be able to be through most of that by the time January rolls around, and then I'm gonna be like, oh well, what am I gonna play? Well, here's Destiny for my yearly shooter picks.
Yeah, man, it is. But ladies and gentlemen, Bronsolino, get your pizza. Much appreciated.
2 pizzas and some chicken.
Damn, dude.
And a cherry Coke for $27.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to order 2 breakfast burritos earlier, and it was fucking $50. Ridiculous.
Where the fuck are you ordering from?
Just New York City now, man. Everybody's delivery fee is like $8, and then the taxes have jumped, and fucking, it's absurd. But
no, fuck that. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I guess if you're a delivery driver, you're pumped, right?
Yeah, fucking I guess. But anyways,
I know.
As we try to,
anyway.
I'm trying to close it out, Bronson. Shut your fucking mouth.
Never. Can't silence me.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Bronson, for joining me on the maiden voyage of CritTalk. I will be back here. Bronson freaks out. As I will be back here next Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. That is, what do we do? 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with the terrific Tammy Ryan. And we're going to talk about something, and this is going to be the theme. I'm not going to say shit about the topic until we get to fucking podcast time. But
thanks. Be talking about romantic visual novels.
Yes, exactly. How did you fucking... That's weird. But
what?
That's
did
weird
I really
that you knew.
Pick it?
Yeah, man, you picked it. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to talk about romantic fucking novels on my podcast, Bronson. Get the fuck out of here.
No, like visual novels.
No,
like How to Boyfriend, the fucking Steam dating sim shit.
Oh my god, absolutely not. But yeah, no.
Do it, dude. Do it.
It's about boobs. She told me it is. It's always about boobs.
We actually nearly did a Let's Play of Sakura Spirit with Bremen back in the day. I don't know. Maybe we'll fly you out and do that. Me and you do that.
Sure. Absolutely. Oh god. All right, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to follow, subscribe, comment if you're on YouTube. Do all that bullshit. All the plugs are down below. Everything is there. Twitter, also, Instagram, YouTube. Bronson, plug your shit. Bronson is on Super Gamecraft. Go ahead.
Twitch.tv/SuperGameCraft.
There you go.
There, follow us.
That's Bronsolino stuff.
Harass us every Sunday morning when we do a podcast.
Yeah, so which is funny because I'll be on there tomorrow morning.
You're on that.
Yeah, I'm also guest. I'm gonna be on there every Sunday now. So I'll see you. I'll see everybody here there tomorrow for that podcast, and then Monday morning 9 o'clock sharp. You better fucking be here.
I'm so fucking jello you can do that time slot.
I just don't have a job. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah. See,
I don't know how jealous you should be of it. I'm not working, motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't think I could live off just Twitch money.
All right, let me close this bitch out. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate and love all of you very much. Peace.
That's good. Are we off there?
Hold on. I'm gonna turn up the music.
Yeah, no. So after I tipped the delivery driver, the one that being like $30.